They say Kenyans were the most optimistic after that election. What does it mean? It is very critical to analyze what a government represents to the people. You must give people hope that the country can actually change, that all the bad manners that we had been practicing can be left behind. We can have a new country where everybody is happy, things work for you, you have equal opportunity, you're not going to be judged because of your second name. Because my name is Sifuna from Western Kenya, immediately somebody sees my CV, puts it aside, and wants to look at the Kip Kuleis, and that is the bad manners that we don't want to go back to. And you have seen, in the current regime, every single time William Ruto puts out a gazette notice, appointments to boards, appointments to parastatals, to any government institution, it is just his village mates, you know? What does that do to young people from Nyanza, young people from the coast, who have actually also gone to school and they are looking for a country that works for everyone? That feeling is the most critical. And the reason why I have always blamed Kibaki for losing that moment that Kenyans were the most optimistic, because it didn't take long. Within 1.5 years, there were already people from his Mount Kenya backyard saying, you know, some of his characters are used to being in opposition. They are already uncomfortable in government. They should leave. You remember the Murungarus? And they used to talk so badly. And that hope, that optimism that we had acquired after kicking Kanu out and having this new government that we thought would work for everyone was absolutely lost. And for me, that makes everything else that Kibaki did, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So if you look at the current regime, what they're doing, there is something very disturbing. That in fact, as you said yourself, there is no one person who knows everything. There's no one person who knows everything. But Kenya has a lot of resources in terms of its people. People have ideas. They can help you to deliver a country that works for everyone. But we have a situation where for as long as the idea is coming from Sifuna, and I am known to associate with opposition, that idea is dismissed upfront. They will not even utilize the ideas that are coming from the opposition every time they tell us, oh, what is your alternative? If we bring alternatives to the table, they will not listen to them. They would rather fail with their ideas than grab an idea from their perceived opponents that actually works for the country. I have told you, we used to be afraid of you. It's quite amazing that I can sit here with you. People like you are people who are, kusema jida yako ni gumu. People like Nicholas Buot. I told people the story of when I was growing up in the village, and ukisikia Land Rover ya polisi inakuja, your own father runs into the sugarcane and leaves you there with your mother. And he has done nothing, because at that time, it is the state to tell you that you have done something wrong. And they take you somewhere where your family doesn't.
That's true. I lived that age.
Yeah. So you guys, Kwanza, you need to tell us, what was wrong with you people?
Maybe before I even deal with that. First of all, by the way, let me just give you a little gist of what happened in those days.
Yes.
That sometimes you couldn't pronounce the name of president.
Yeah, you could.
It was a crime.
Not even president. Don't even go to president. Even just cabinet ministers and PSs in the interior.
Yes.
How do you say what's name? No, it was a crime.
The way Kenyans perceive some of us is that we have been in government for a very long time.
Yes.
Yet I've never been in government. I was in government for 1 year.
When?
As a minister during Moi's presidency. Yes. The last year before he left, 2021.
Yes.
In 1992, then I'll come to the Kibaki story.
Yes.
Moi nominated me to be a member of parliament. He even gave me a ministerial position, and I refused because I never wanted to be a politician.
You didn't get to parliament?
That is how Wetangula was nominated. I gave Wetangula my nomination in 92.
Allah.
But later on, I had to fight to go to parliament to protect myself. Remember, in 97, the same machinery I was protecting came after me.
Okay.
And Orengo said it very well another time. Let me not go into that. Let's deal with the leadership, the current leadership, and what Kenyans are looking for. I agree with you to a great extent. But I want to put in some defense for Kibaki. Thoughts are things.
Yeah.
In the entire history of leadership in this country, Kibaki came up with a thought and created a vision for this country.
Yes.
And remember, you cannot build this house where we are seated if you have not imagined it. Kibaki had the imagination. When you talk about Kenyans having been very optimistic when Kibaki was elected with the late Wamalwa, they were optimistic because that picture that we will be liberated, we will move forward, we will grow to the level of the tigers, the Asian tigers, was born when Kibaki and Wamalwa were elected as the leaders of this country. And we all were excited, whether we were against or not. At that time, I was pushing Uhuru because I still had this madness of believing that the younger generation would provide better leadership than the older generation. And I pushed Uhuru so hard to be the Kanu candidate, believing that time has come. We are in this trouble, we are in as a country, because maybe the leadership we have is archaic, they don't understand yesterday. But with time, we've seen Kibaki creating a vision that Kenyans could imagine that in Vision 2030, and maybe a free advice to those that are in power, If I was in power today, my focus would be on opening up the Northern Corridor, LAPSSET. And if anyone did that and took that seriously, Kenya today, the current situation we look at, unemployment at over 10%. If you open that corridor, remember the economy of Kenya is the corridor from Mombasa all the way to Uganda. Now that would have been another corridor with even a higher population, because you're talking about Ethiopia, you're talking about South Sudan, you're talking about Somalia, you're talking about Northern Uganda, and that can spill over even into Central African Republic. So you're talking about a very huge population compared to the economy we are relying on today. Now, in my defense of Kibaki, Kibaki, yourself, myself, understand that thoughts are things. Create a vision and live towards a vision. This vision, we lost it maybe 11 years ago. We never lived a journey. We lived a different thing altogether. So Kibaki at least created a direction where the country needed to go. It is not in what he achieved. It's not the roads that he managed to repair, although that is also a lot of success, given that the country had dilapidated the infrastructure and nobody would move.
Now, I don't fault his economic policies, by the way. And vision is important in terms of you draw up a plan like what the Chinese did a few years ago. About a few decades ago, they just decided that we are going to put this country in a certain space, and they